As you can see here by the bottom of my screen, WorldBox added a ton of humanoid-like species to the game in the new 0.5 update. And while these species are cool, what are the most powerful ones? And I did make a video recently comparing many of these species and having a couple of them fight. I had the rhinos, the bears, the rabbits, and the snakes go head to head and see who won. Now, if you want to see who wins, you gotta go watch that video. But the point of that video was mainly to focus on the power of the different religions and some of the new traits. So today, we're going to be sending in all of the new humanoid species, along with the original species too. Additionally, we'll throw in some special species, like bandits and plague doctors, how about that? And once they're all set up, we will have a battle royale between them all, and the winner turns into gods. That's their prize for winning. So without further ado, let's get into it. Join my Discord server. So first, we have to clear our map. Once that's complete, we need to count how many species we have. 9, 19, plus 7, 26, 32. And after counting, I get 32 total species, which is an insane amount. That's actually insane. But we're going to have to section this off into a 32 grid, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. And now, if you do the math, we have 32 roughly equal sized boxes. Some are bigger than others, but I'll try to make sure the bigger animals go in the smaller boxes. So now we just need to place down biomes and then spawn our animals. I am not going to concern myself in what biomes go where, but we may as well use some of the new ones in a few of these. We'll go classic grass in these 6. We'll go birch in these 4. Mushrooms for these 6. Maple for these 6. And finally, we can go with flower for these last 4. So obviously, none of these biomes really will give any of the civilizations a specific advantage. I don't think. If they do, let me know, because I'm not sure. Anyway, it's time to spawn our guys down. In my normal grass biomes up here, we'll spawn in our classic 4 civilizations. We'll start with humans. We'll spawn in about 50 of them. And we are going to go around 50 of each civilization, just so you know. Elves, dwarves, orcs, and then, like I said, we'll go down with bandits and even plague doctors. And for the bandits and plague doctors, we do have to change their subspecies a bit. We're going to get rid of their psychosis and give them the ability to form civilizations. And same thing with the plague doctors. And now it's time to move on to our new civilizations. In the birch forest, we'll go with cats, next to the dogs, next to the chickens, next to the rabbits. Then we'll go down to monkeys, foxes, I believe, cows, sheep, I have no clue what this is, an armadillo. Can someone let me know in the comments what these are? Then we'll go into wolves, bears, buffalo, or bulls it looks like, I'm assuming buffalo. Your classic rhinos, log claws, don't know what those are. Maybe coyotes, it kind of looks like. Rats. Jarmaka, what, alpacas, llamas, is that a capybara, goat, penguins, and we are down to our last 6 subspecies. Napkins, I don't know why they're called that, looks like they're sharks. Then we have frogs, reptiles, which I assume are just crocodiles, turtles, scorpions, snakes, and finally, crabs. I'm going to unpause time and all of the kingdoms should immediately pop up. These walls should be thick enough that they won't attack each other through the walls. But one thing I will say, I believe some of these subspecies can be very violent. But I'm not going to change anything. If the subspecies destroys itself, that is their own fault, and I'm not going to interfere with any of it. So obviously, I'm not going to make them fight right now. I'm going to give them roughly 150 years to completely develop, and then that's when we're going to start the conflict. It's going to be a full-out battle royale, winner take all. There will only be one left, and to ensure that, I am going to turn on angry villagers, just to make sure that there will only be one species still standing. Obviously, like you see in the title and what I said earlier, that species will become gods if they win. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and skip over to year 150, and I'll see you then.
3 weeks later.
And here we are at year 150, and a lot has changed, let me tell you. So first off, let's just look around at population. Looking here, it appears that the turtles have the most population with 512. Very impressive by them. But to be fair, I believe they might have some of the most land, because I tried my best to make all these land slots even, but it's hard to do that. It's really hard to do that. Another thing I noted is that the actual little sharks over here, they actually have been dying from being on land, I believe, so I had to give them a little pool, but their population is still really low. But before we actually start the war, I just want to look at the houses of each of these species, because I don't know if anyone's really looked in depth, but I know they all have, I know that every species has their own little house, and I want to look at that. So first we have the crabs here. They have little, looks like coral, I believe. They even have a little coral windmill, that's pretty cool. Over here at the snakes, they have the little cobra houses, I guess. They kind of look like snakes, pretty cool. The scorpions houses look similar to the snakes, but I believe their big buildings look a little bit different. They kind of look like bones, really. The humans have human houses. The elves obviously have their little elf high and mighty houses. Plague doctors have these really cool looking houses. Like, this just looks awesome. Can't really explain them, but they look awesome. The chickens have, I believe these are chicken coops, which is kind of weird if you think about it, but still pretty cool. And the rabbits have little, I guess, rabbit holes. That makes sense. The dogs have dog houses. Fair enough. The cats have, looks like scratching posts almost. Not scratching posts, but like those cat houses that would include scratching posts. The cowboys, I believe these look like, I'm pretty sure these are actually the same as the plague doctors. The orcs, they have their awesome looking orc houses that look like, they always remind me of super mutants from Fallout 4 or all of the Fallout games. Dwarves, same houses as always, look pretty cool. Look like little pueblos, still awesome. Next we have the turtles, which we were looking at a minute ago. I think they have little turtle shell houses, which, once again, awesome. Now we have the crocodiles. Only 78 of them, not sure why. And they look like they have little rock houses almost. Can't really tell quite what those are. Now we have the frogs, who have, I believe these are lily pad houses. Looks pretty sweet. Next we have the penguins, who have actually turned the flower biome into ice, which is really cool. And they have made little igloos, looks like. Now we have the goats, who have, not quite sure what these are, but I guess they're like stone little houses. Still look pretty cool. The alpacas have surprisingly human looking houses, except for this building, which just looks like a giant sheep. The rhinos once again have stone looking houses. These bulls have little straw looking houses almost. Can't quite tell what they look like. I believe these are the cows right here, and they have pretty similar, they have identical looking houses to the bulls. Now we have the foxes, I believe, and they have, well, little foxholes. Next we have the monkeys, and they have little, looks like tree stump houses almost. Yeah, and their bigger buildings look like tree houses. That's pretty cool. And on our last row we have the wolf houses. They live in little wolf dens. These weird, I don't even know, the things with guitars from earlier. They have little huts again. The sheep have, looks like little wool houses. Bears have little bear dens. I think hyenas or the claws or whatever. They have similar houses to the wolves, I think, with these little skulls on their watchtowers, I think, which is pretty cool. Now we have the rats, who live in normal looking houses, really. Then we have the capybaras, who live in these little huts again, similar to the foxes. And lastly, we have the sharks, who live in skulls. Are they living in skulls? That's pretty cool. Look at this little watchtower, it's like literally a fish skeleton. That's awesome. I'm sorry for all the dilly-dallying. Let's get to war. First off, we do have to make little bridges between every single civ. So let me do that real quick.
3 days later.
So now every civilization has been connected to one another, and, well, now it's time to make them go to war. Every single nation will be against every single other nation. There's no alliances, no nothing. This is a full-out brawl, and the winner will become gods. First, never hurts to save your game, and we will ignite war across the entire world. Because it's been 150 years, these kingdoms should have time to develop, and war has immediately begun between everyone. For some reason, there's a lot of battles within current kingdoms. But if we just take a look at the random kingdoms, as we can see at the gaps where they connect with one another, there's always just conflict. And it's hard to really focus in on one specific village when every single one's at war. But we're trying to look around here. It looks like the orcs are off to a really strong start, and they haven't really lost many people. The humans are already getting destroyed, down to just 40 people. Now remember that these civilizations have actually developed on their own too, meaning that they might have their own religion, which can really help out some of these species. Looks like the rhinos will actually take over a llama kingdom, which I guess is possible, leaving them with just 2 members, so the llamas are technically the first civilization out, I believe. The plague doctors have actually done pretty well, and the elves are already destroyed along with these guys, who I believe were the chickens. These were the chickens. We're long gone now. The rabbits aren't long for this world either. Even the alligators are getting destroyed, which shocks me. Looking at kingdoms, honestly, one of the kingdoms that's doing the best is the rats, shockingly enough. This kingdom here, which I don't even know is supposed to be, got destroyed. I don't even know what this was. This was like the hyenas, because they didn't have any people. Unsurprisingly, the shark people got destroyed. It's sad to see, but I think the foxes were destroyed too. Dogs are still hanging in strong. The cats were eliminated, meaning that dogs do beat cats. The orcs are finally starting to fall. And it looks like the rhinos might be the most insane species. But there's still some competition here. The plague doctors being one of them, having an absolutely very impressive society. Frogs are still going strong, as they have taken out the turtles, who I believe had the most people. Oh, the turtles are still alive. But they're down to just a couple people left. And remember, they were one of the most powerful civilizations at the start. The wolves really haven't done much. I think their population is really more or less about the same as it was. And if we look at our deaths right here, over 6,000 people have died from war alone, which is insane considering the amount of natural deaths in the world is only 5,000. And this war's only been going on around 15 years. Bandits have actually made a little resurgence here, as the rhinos are actually weaker than they were. The crabs are still going strong. The humans have been long eliminated. All of the original species, including the orcs, have been destroyed. All of our OG guys are gone, leaving just the new guys. And in terms of most powerful in population, our winner right now is actually the rats, who would be a underdog. Our little weird guitar guys over here are also going strong too. And the bears, once again, have disappointed me. I can't believe they only have 30 people left. I just thought they would be really strong. We speed up time here, we're starting to see some big developments. The rats are actually standing up to the might of the rhinos and winning at that too, and I think that they are actually going to win that war. The goats are somehow still alive, and the plague doctors have spread their influence across the entire upper right half of the world. And they have secured themselves quite a large space for breathing room, I would say, as many kingdoms have to go far out of their way to just attack them. These little rockstar guys actually destroyed the wolves, which shocked me. I thought the wolves would do a lot better. But continuing, the rats are just absolutely exploding in population and destroying the rhinos. The rhinos are down to just a few people, but it looks like plague doctors will actually take them over, which shocks me, leaving just a few kingdoms now. I believe we are down to just 4 kingdoms. We have the little rockstar armadillo guys. We have our rats, plague doctors, and finally our crabs, who really just haven't done that much. And it looks like the crabs are about to be destroyed, but they still have a few people left. And it looks like the crab nation has been split in 2 and is about to be completely taken over. And the crabs have fallen, and we're down to just 3 kingdoms. The rats, the armadillos, and the plague doctors. For ease of convenience, we will name kingdom. We will name the plague doctors, the rats, close enough, and the armadillos, the unknown, because I have no clue what they actually are. And looking at interesting people here, I'm starting to see why the plague doctors are winning. I did not realize how OP they are. 1,300 health from their king. The guy with the most kills that they have has 16 kills and wields a flame sword. Look at this guy. He's a kingslayer. This guy is awesome. No wonder they're winning this war. And some of you may claim that it's unfair that they're not actually one of the humanoid species, but I still think it was fair that they wanted to get involved, because I wanted to see a lot of the new species that are capable of forming civilizations. But it looks like the armadillos here, the unknown species, which I believe are armadillos, are getting raided in their base as they're getting crushed. They are gone. And our famous soldier here of no had a few kills here with his flame sword as he continues to just wreak havoc. And then there was 2. It's just the plague doctors versus the rats, which is very ironic. Plague doctors versus rats. How convenient that's the final. Well, let's hope that the doctors can take down the bubonic plague. as they are sending armies in from all angles to try and take down the rats. But the rats are not going to go quick, as I feel the plague doctors are going to need a much bigger army than just a couple soldiers if they want to take down these guys. And they continue to push troops, and here, let's just follow our favorited soldier on his adventure in. Look, there's 3 flame swords. Do you guys see this? This entire battalion, which I did not give them this, all have like flame swords. Oh no, Anano's taking damage here when he faces the rats. Will he win? It looks like he's just helping mow through them, but more and more rats are just swarming him. But they're just mowing them down. Look at this. There's so many rats and they're just absolutely demolishing them, but oh, he's gone. The rats were able to fend off this huge army, and now look, they have possession of the flame swords. This could mean bad news for the plague doctors. I feel like with their growing population, they don't have much to worry about. And soldiers continue to just be sent into the rat kingdom, and it looks like they're finally starting to have some success. Time and time again, the rats just continue to fend them off. If we actually look at the war details, collectively between these two sides, over 1,500 people have died. But the fighting rages on, and it looks like the plague armies are finally beginning to take over the rats, and they're down to just their last village. And a lot of rats survived. Finally, the war is over. Your plague doctors are successful, and that means they're going to become gods. And as I actually zoom in here to the plague doctor village, what I'm noticing is there's a lot of dog houses and a lot of dogs and very few actual plague doctors. And if I go to the village list, almost all of these villages have the dog icon over them, and the village of Woof over here is actually successful. Meaning that the doctors might actually just be a puppet to the dogs, and I think our true victor might actually be the dogs. Comment down below, did the plague doctors win or did the dogs win? But look at all these villages, every single icon is a dog. Was this their plan all along? And even more confusingly, this dog, his name is Meow. I have no clue what the heck is going on. But in my own opinion, because the kingdom icon says plague doctors, and this is where we spawn the plague doctors, I'm going to say the plague doctors won. So we are going to gather up with our giant magnet all surviving members of the plague doctor kingdom, and we're going to give them overpowered traits. We're going to put them in the middle right here, and we'll put a bunch of forest soil here. And we're going to essentially give them pretty much every trait that we can. Literally all of them that give them mostly positive mood buffs. We are going to take off super health though for a reason, and pretty much I actually already have most of the other stuff on here. So we are going to rain this down over our victors, and because I want to end this video off with a little bit of a bang, we're going to add a little twist here. We're going to close off the gaps here, trapping everyone in, and then we're going to give them all the madness perk. I know, and we're just going to watch them beat the absolute crap out of each other. Oh my god! Oh, there's still a couple guys left. Let's see who wins. Oh boy, what a lovely fight between these two guys. I sure hope nothing bad happens when they die. And I believe that everything living in here is dead. Oh wait, no. There's a few living species. Wait, they're gonna kill each other, aren't they? Oh, there's a little village up here. I didn't even see that. Well, I forgot that they all had death nuke. And while there is still a few civilians living here and there that I didn't pick up with a magnet, I think the lesson goes to show that if you ask to be a god, you are actually going to turn into a nuclear bomb.